Hi all, welcome everybody to Stats Cosmos. In the last video, we covered one of the measures of dispersion, range and its coefficient. Now, in this video, we are going to cover quartile deviation and its coefficient. Let's start with its definition. Before we move to quartile deviation definition, let's try to understand what is quartile. For quartiles, we have to divide our data into 4 equal parts. Let's consider the data given here. There are 12 observations in the data. Choosing the numbers 7.5, 8.5 and 18.5 as markers, we can divide our data, that is 2, 3, 7, 8, 8, 8, 9, 13, 17, 20, 21 and 21. We can divide it into 4 groups where each group consists of 3 elements. These numbers would be the 3 quarters for this data sets, and the notations for these quarters are Q1, Q2 and Q3 for these 3 quarters. And here the second quartile Q2 is the median of the data set. It is the measure of location as well as measure of dispersion. It is also known as 50% zone. Now, the quartile deviation is a measure of dispersion based on the third quartile and the first quartile. The difference between these 2 quarters is interquartile deviation, and the formula for finding out the quartile deviation is Q3 minus Q1 by 2. Coefficient of quartile deviation is the relative measure of the quartile deviation, and we can calculate it by using the formula Q3 minus Q1 by Q3 plus Q1. Now let's try to know how to calculate this quartile deviation in different series, that is individual, discrete and continuous. Let's start with individual series. Here's the data. We have to calculate the quartile deviation and coefficient of quartile deviation, interquartile range or interquartile deviation for this data. First of all, given data, we have to arrange it in ascending order. Given data is 24, 7, 11, 9, 17, 3, 20, 14, 4, 22 and 27. So after arranging it in data, we got 3, 4, 7, 9, 11, 14, 17, 20, 22, 24 and 27. First of all, we have to calculate the quartiles Q1 and Q3, and the formulas are size of n plus 1 by 4th term. Here n is 11, so size of 11 plus 1 by 4, which is 3. So size of the third term, that is the value of the third term, is 7. So Q1 value is 7. Similarly, we can find out Q3 by using the formula size of 3 into n plus 1 by 4. N is again here 11, so 3 into 12 by 4, which is 9, size of the 9th term. Here the 9th observation is 22. So that is your Q3 value. So now we can find out interquartile deviation or interquartile range by using the formula Q3 minus Q1, which is 22 minus 7, which gives you 15. Next, semi-interquartile range or quartile deviation. The formula is Q3 minus Q1 by 2. Already we got the interquartile range Q3 minus Q1, which is 15. So divide it with 2. 15 by 2, which gives you 7.5. And now the coefficient of quartile deviation formula is Q3 minus Q1 by Q3 plus Q1. Just substitute the values into the formula. So you'll be getting approximately 0.52 as your answer. So this is the individual series. And this is how to calculate the quartile deviation and the coefficient of quartile deviation for the given data. Now, let's see how to calculate the quartile deviation in case of discrete series. Here is a discrete data given to you where you can observe the x values and frequency values. First of all, here we have to find out the cumulative frequencies for the given data for discrete series. How to find out cumulative frequencies is first value of frequency as it is you consider in the first value of cumulative frequency column, And the second value of cumulative frequency you can get by adding the first two values of your frequency. So till that level, what is the frequency total? That is cumulative frequency simply. If you want to find the second value of cumulative frequency, add first two values of the frequency. If you want to find out the third value of cumulative frequency, then add first three values of the frequency column. If you want fourth value, add first four values in the frequency column. So this is how to get the cumulative frequency. Here you can observe the first value is 4. To get the second value, we added 9 plus 4, which is 13. To get the third value, 17 plus 9 plus 4, which is 30. Okay. To get the fourth value, 40 plus 17 plus 9 plus 4, which is 70. So this is how, first of all, you have to find out the cumulative frequencies column. Once you're done with the cumulative frequencies column, now the formula for finding out Q1 and Q3s are same as the individual series, size of n plus 1 by 4th term. But here the n is the capital N, which is the total of frequencies. Here it is 200. So 200 plus 1 by 4, the term we have to find. So size of 50.25th term. 50.25 exactly we cannot see either in frequencies and nor in cumulative frequencies. So what we have to do is just greater than the term in cumulative frequency column we have to see. So 50.25 just greater value in cumulative frequency we can observe it is 70. The corresponding x value is the Q1 value. So 70 corresponding x value is here 16. So Q1 value is 16. Similarly, how to find out Q3 is size of 3 into n plus 1 by 4th term. Here the n is capital N, and which is the total of frequencies value. So 3 into 200 plus 1 by 4, which is 150.75 term. And again we have to take that value and we have to see in cumulative frequency column. Equal to value is there, then the same value you have to consider. If equal to value is not there, same value is not there, so we have to consider the just greater value. Here 150.75 just greater in cumulative frequency column is 160, and the corresponding x value is your third quarter. Corresponding x is 24, so Q3 value is 24. After getting Q1, Q3 values, so finding out the interquartile deviation or range and quartile deviation, coefficient of quartile deviation is same as before. So by using the formulas, first for interquartile range it is Q3 minus Q1 and the value is 24 minus 16, which gives you 8, and quartile deviation is Q3 minus Q1 by 2. So already we got interquartile range Q3 minus Q1 as 8, so 8 by 2, which gives you 4. Coefficient of quartile deviation is Q3 minus Q1 by Q3 plus Q1, that is 24 minus 16 by 24 plus 16. So which is 8 by 40, which gives you 0.2 approximately. So this is how to calculate the quartile deviation and coefficient of quartile deviation in case of discrete series. So now let's try to know about the calculation of quartile deviation in case of continuous series. Here is a continuous data. First of all, for grouped data, that is for individual, only the observations are given. For discrete series here and continuous series, that is for grouped data, frequencies also will be given. Whenever we have frequencies, we are supposed to find out the cumulative frequencies. That is for grouped data, simply we have to find out the cumulative frequency column. Here how to find out cumulative frequency is, as I told you, first value as it is we have to get, and second value how to get is adding the first two values of frequency. Third value, first three values of frequencies if you add, you'll get. And fourth value, first four values of frequencies if you add, you'll get. So in such a way, first we are supposed to find out the cumulative frequencies column. Here 8 first value as it is, and 8 plus 16, which is 24, second value of cumulative frequency, and 8 plus 16 plus 22, which is 46, that is the third value of cumulative frequency, and fourth value 30 plus 22 plus 16 plus 8, which is 76. In this way remaining values also we have to find. After finding out that, here the formula for Q1 is L plus N1 minus CF, that is cumulative frequency, by F into either I or C or H. All this indicates the class interval value. So first of all, here we have to find out N1 value. For Q1 it will be separate, for Q2 it will be separate, and for Q3 also it will be separate. First of all, here N1 formula, that is specially for Q1, is N by 4. That is the first part of the given data set. So N value is here capital N, which is the total of frequencies, 118. 118 by 4 if you find out, you'll get N1 value, which is 29.5. After finding out this value, you have to compare it in cumulative frequency column. So when you compare that equal to value, that is same value is there, then the corresponding class will consider as Q1 class, first quarter class. If suppose the equal value is not there, same value is not there, we have to consider the just greater than that value. So 29.5 just greater in cumulative frequency is 46, and the corresponding class is called here Q1 class, first quarter class, and the lower limit of that class is L, or you can also consider it as L1, as we are finding out the Q1 class, which is 20. Corresponding frequency is here F1 or F, which is 22, and the preceding value of that cumulative frequency is your CF value. Okay, preceding value is here 24. So all these values we have to substitute into the formula of Q1, and here I is the interval. So 0 to 10, the difference is 10. So that is your I value. Similarly, 10 to 20, any class you consider, the interval is same, which is 10. Just to substitute all these values into the formula. L plus N1 minus CF by F into I. L is 20, and N1 value we got it as 29.5 minus CF value I told you. So before value, that is preceding value of that Q1 class, we have to consider it as CF, which is 24 by F value corresponding to Q1 class is 22. Substitute it there into 10. So if you find out this, so you'll be getting finally 22.5 after simplifying this. So this is how to calculate the Q1. Similarly, now let's see how to find out Q3 value. And N1 value for Q3 is 3n by 4. As we are finding out the third part, so 3n by 4 we have to consider. So 3 into 118 by 4, here n is capital N. Total of frequencies, which is 118. So 3 into 118 by 4, if you find out, you'll get 88.5. That is your N1 value of third quarter Q3. Third value you have to check in cumulative frequency column. Equal to value is not there. So just greater than value we have to consider. 88.5 just greater than value in cumulative frequency column is 100. That particular class we call it as third quarter class, that is Q3 class. And the lower limit of that class, you can observe, it is 40. Frequency corresponding to that is 24. And how to find out CF? It is the preceding cumulative frequency value of that class is CF, which is 76. And I is same for all the classes, which is 10. Substitute all the values again into the formula. L is 40, N1 is 88.5 here, and minus CF value we got it as 76. Divide with frequencies value, which is 24, into I value 10. After doing the simplification, you'll be getting that 45.2. Once you found Q1 and Q3 values, again substitute into the formulas. Interquartile range Q3 minus Q1, 45.2 minus 22.5, which gives you 22.7. Quartile deviation, how to find out is Q3 minus Q1 by 2. 45.2 minus 22.5 by 2, which gives you 11.35. Again, the coefficient of quartile deviation formula is Q3 minus Q1 by Q3 plus Q1. Substitute Q3, Q1 values into the formula, and finally you're going to get the answer as 0.335. So kindly all of you try to calculate this and compare your answers with these values. I hope you all understood now how to calculate the quartile deviation in different series, individual, discrete and continuous. Let's see the application of quartile deviation in real life. Here is an application. This I took from an article. Textural differences between present day sediments collected from the fluviatile beach and alluvial environments can be demonstrated by plotting values of quartile deviation measures against the medians on double log paper for each environment. These plots can be delimited by trend envelopes whose bounding lines represent regressions one standard deviation either side of the average regression lines. Using these envelopes as a framework for comparison, several hundred QDMD plots calculated from the grain size distributions of ancient sedimentary rocks have been examined from this. Generally, the majority of these plots fall well within their appropriate environmental envelope, thereby demonstrating that the statistical technique is valid for the environmental discrimination of both the modern and ancient deposits. This is one of the application of quartile deviation in real life. This is the end of this video. Thank you all for watching.